Hi, Julian. Welcome back, and welcome to our AfterTalk.
Thank you.
I will not try to say your last name, but Norman maybe he practiced it.
Yeah.
So
Hello, yeah. Embarrassing. Yeah, no, I actually promised Julian that I at least try to say the name. So I think it's something like Gonggrijp. Gonggrijp. How much
Very
did I fuck
close.
up? Right, okay, that's good enough for me. I'm not trying to get closer than that. Awesome. Can you say it how it is actually?
Gonggrijp.
Oh, okay.
so yeah, so that's means that I guess you are Dutch, right? From and
I am.
you're living in Utrecht.
I am.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, perfect. So how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm happy that I'm here.
Yeah,
How are
we,
you?
we are we are happy too. Yeah, that's amazing that you could join us like in these like times. Not only like Christmas, but also the other not so funny times. But
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
yeah. How is your life like in this pandemic like utopia?
Utopia, please.
Well, I guess many programmers can relate to this. That it's relatively easy to do programming work at home,
No.
and I'm quite fortunate. I'm a bit introvert, so actually I'm managing quite well.
Yeah, same here.
Same here. No.
So yeah,
I-
but I do miss the live gatherings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Me too. Yeah, it's weird, but I mean it's almost like almost 1 year when like I didn't met basically anyone else than my family. So
Yeah, funny story. I was in March. I was in Paris, and I was in a small Airbnb room, and then the lockdown came down. So I was on a holiday in a foreign city, and I was on my own in an Airbnb room, and I knew I would be alone, so I had actually planned to do a little bit of development work, and that's where I modularized Underscore.
Nice.
So during a lockdown in Paris.
yeah,
So we have to thank the lockdown.
Well, probably I would have done it without the lockdown as well, but
yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mean like we also I mean my before the COVID we were like in the Vhs Amsterdam, so like that was like our last conference at least for this year. Don't know for next year, but
Let's hope it's only for this year, really.
yeah,
I
but
really like those conferences.
yeah. But actually, I guess I saw that they planning like big online 24-hour conference in February. So instead of the normal one, so probably there will be no live in February. So yeah. Have you ever been at the Vue.js Amsterdam conference, or they also have I think the front end love, which is the more
no, I haven't. And to be honest, I haven't used Vue at all. So
yeah I know yeah.
No, no
you, you,
worries.
you can talk about that here, so careful.
It's the same place.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
but
alright.
they also I think they have like one day before the Vue.js Amsterdam there is the front end love, which is the more for React and for other like
I see.
minor languages or front end frameworks. So
But I should say that Underscore combines quite perfectly well with Vue. So
Of course.
yeah.
yeah, that's great. Perfect. So you basically you working you said that you're working like half time at the university, right? And half time
Yes,
as a open source developer. How
I do. Yes.
how is it doing? Like combining this kind of two stuff, like two kinds of work.
I think it's great, actually. I would recommend it to anyone who thinks he can do with a little bit, or she can do with a little bit less money, because it gives you so much more time to work on whatever comes to mind, or whatever you like to do, instead of just the work that will get you paid, which, of course, everyone will be happy to do paid work when it is interesting, but sometimes you just want to do other things. And I otherwise I wouldn't be able to modularize Underscore or do anything else like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That actually be something for me as well, really. Like working less on my day-to-day job and having more time for those projects. But I'm realistic at the moment. Too bad.
Yeah, I saw that you have also the Patreon site, right? Is it like helping you like to kind of, I would say, get the lost of the working in a like open source environment where, I mean, there might be lots of money, but not like it's not easy to get them.
No, it's difficult. It might help. And right now it doesn't. It's not that much, but it might help, and it might help to. You can always try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like possible, but I mean, like not only for you, but for like anyone who wants to do like the open source, to work like full time on open source and like have a like decent life?
I think it's theoretically possible, but right now I wouldn't know how to do it myself, to be honest.
Can be even you.
Sorry?
Not everyone can be even you. Yeah, but I mean, there are some companies that do open source and have some model that works. Right?
Actually, my employer works open source too. So at Digital Humanities Lab, we work almost exclusively open source. But of course, it's still very focused on the research projects. So something like modularizing Underscore is not really part of the job.
Yeah. And what are you doing in your normal job, like normal in the quote marks?
So we make bespoke software for researchers. So it's very, very diverse. Some researchers need a visualization, some need a database, some need both, some need to do some kind of survey system, or they already have a lot of data and they want to share it with the world in some way, or they need some kind of analysis.
Not use all the data in Excel.
Sometimes, yes. So it's very diverse. At the same time, it's also a lot of building web applications, because that's a very convenient way to make a user-friendly application. So we do build a lot of web applications.
Yeah, and you I guess you are mostly using React, right? Or
no, actually, it's a little bit of. It's mostly Angular and a little bit of Backbone.
Angular like 2.5, whatever it is at the moment, or?
Yeah, the latest one. I lost track.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. Then you should be. You might like Vue. You should give it a try. You might find it.
Well, at my job we probably won't, because we chose a standard. But I might try it outside of my job sometime. But actually, personally, I like Backbone very much. It's a bit out of fashion, but I think there are some really good really good ideas behind it.
I would agree, actually. There are definitely some things that work really well with Backbone, and some types of applications you can do really quickly and easily with this model. But yeah, we are going away from this way of doing web applications, right? Preferring components and stuff like this.
Sorry?
Nowadays we are doing more the components and blah blah stuff. Then Backbone is more the model view controller or whatever you would call it, model view model or view controller. I don't know.
I think model view model is the term that Angular coined.
That's the Angular thing. Yeah.
But that's actually Angular is still quite a component-like, I think.
Yes. With Angular 2 upwards, it became component.
Yeah. So Angular 1 was different. That's true. I've worked once with it. And Backbone is definitely a model view controller. Although I think in web applications there's not really a strict separation between view and controller, but you can still separate a view from the model. And I feel like these component frameworks, they conflate these two more into a component. So there's component and it has both the view and also actually it's holding the data.
Yeah, that is right. So it's a philosophy. It's a different one, and I think it works very well because you can encapsulate exactly that what you need, and you don't have like 3 files somewhere lying around or 3 pieces of code, let's say, somewhere that work on the same thing, but you have everything in one file or however you want to do it, of course, in one group. So I think that is, for me personally, it works really well.
I also think that these few modules where everything is in one file, it's quite an elegant invention. With the template and the script and even the style, I think you can put the style in there.
Yeah. I think lots of frameworks like starting to do this, like Svelte or
even React.
React, yes.
Solving everything into JS.
Yeah.
Not that I think this is a good thing, but that's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, last couple weeks, I heard lots of like positive things about Svelte, but
yes, I can tell you a lot of them as well.
Yeah, but I didn't like have like lots of time to explore it, but I mean, yeah, I heard like a couple podcasts about it, and I think it might be kind of really good way if you want to get something more like performant than Vue.js or React. If you and also if you have like some specific specific needs, like I don't know, faster updates on the maps or something like that, so it might be much more better than using like Vue.js or.
It's also much smaller, like the bundle gets so much smaller. So you have my dog is currently scratching the carpet. I'm sorry. So yeah, you have all the things actually. Like it's smaller code in the end because you have compile time bundling, and everything that is in the bundling itself is like really, really tiny runtime framework stuff and mostly your code. Then you have a very good developer experience nowadays, at least with Svelte 3 and onwards. And you have super high speed because it doesn't use any virtual DOM. It has direct manipulations of everything. I don't see why people do we want to recreate a new. We can make a new meetup, right? Svelte Berlin.
I was just wondering, why is this the Vue.js meetup?
I don't know. What?
Yeah.
No, of course, Vue.js is also nice.
Yeah. That's the one of the news what we have for Christmas, that we are changing our names to Svelte. Svelte Meetup Berlin and.
No, probably. I actually just had a.
No,
probably not. No, okay. I actually heard a podcast that invited. It's actually a podcast of two React developers, and they invited both Richard Harris, the inventor of Svelte, and even you, the inventor of Vue.js. And they both talked in that podcast. And while the both React users all the time said that they hate React actually, and that it's too slow, and that it does this shit, and that is blah, and they really celebrated all the nice things that Svelte and Vue.js brings. That was a really nice podcast. I can share the link later.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think it's undefined podcast or something like this.
Great. Do we have any questions in the comment? No, we don't have. There are so many, like not so many people today. Like it's weird. Something weird is happening.
Or they're all in Christmas mode, maybe. Who knows?
Do you have any plans for the like some next projects which are not secret, of course?
Yeah, actually, so I told about modularizing Underscore.js, which is this big library with extensions for Underscore. And then I want to publish this Underscore Fusion library. And then after that, I think I want to work on Underscore 2.0, which will accommodate for these modern data structures and map and set and iterables. I think that will be quite spectacular, especially with iterables, because if you map and filter and reduce iterables, that will be introduce some kind of lazy evaluation. So that's something I quite look forward to.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
So we're going a bit into our Rx.js direction then. I'm sorry for eating in the side. I'm sorry. So it's going a bit into our Rx.js direction, or at least there's a slight curve, like more functional, pure functional things.
Well, yeah, I think there is an overlap between the. You mean the ReactiveX JavaScript library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it has this stream. I think is that what it's called? The observable stream.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. Of events, events. It's a bit like that because you consume things that come in a series, and you can adapt them, and that's a similarity. But the difference, I think, is that Rx.js is asynchronous, while iterables in JavaScript, maybe they can be asynchronous, but generally they are synchronous, and you're in full control and you start it yourself. So the evaluation is lazy, but you kick off the first event yourself, and then it goes from there.
But you would basically, so the idea is that you can assemble all the mutations that you want to do, and in the end just like shoot them and it happens in one go instead of having every step after each other. That's nice.
Yeah, in one thread.
In their own thread even?
No, in one thread altogether. I mean, it's if you work async with events, then each step will take place in its own, well, not a thread, but a fiber, coroutine.
Okay. I really should look how you build such a thing. Like, how can you assemble such functions? Anyways.
Like iterables?
Yeah, I never really looked into that in JavaScript. So now that you say it, it sounds like, there was such a thing in JavaScript as well now. But yeah. So is it that feature that allows you to create these composable functions, or not composable functions, but like that you don't do
so
in the end?
in JavaScript, you have this for off loop in modern JavaScript, which goes through an iterable. And I think an iterable is a special object with the next method. So basically, when you ask for the next thing in the iterable, you call this next method.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is if you compose an iterable by layering a map on the top of a filter and then a reduce on top of that, and the end result is new iterable. And if you consume that with a for off loop, and somewhere in the middle you break, then all the mapping and the filtering and the reducing in between or that would happen after it, will also be prevented.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That sounds really good. Because whenever I do some things like map, reduce, filter, whatever, I'm always, or reduce is better, whatever. I always feel like, okay, you now have an array of whatever, and then you create a new array, and then you filter over that array and create a new array, and but this way you just still have this one blob of data you're working with instead of,
Yeah, and in fact, there will be no intermediate array at all.
Yeah, nice.
Not even, yeah.
Maybe I will use underscore one day. So
Unless
you revealed that you never used Vue.js, I can reveal I never used underscore.
But maybe you used Lodash.
I mean, I probably also used underscore and Lodash because it was existing in one project also, or in some project that I joined. But I never included it myself, or never looked for functions there for myself. I'm more the okay, I'll just write it myself type of guy. To the good and the bad sides.
Just rolling your loops.
Yeah, I'm also one of those people that uses for like classic C style for loops, if it makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so many people look at me like, why are you like this? But yes. So what are we talking about? I heard of something really nice in the podcast that I linked, and it is called Plenty or Plentyco. Even you mentioned it. And Plentyco is a website generator, a static website generator that is written in Go, but creates Svelte components. So you basically write Svelte in Svelte components, but there is a Go application that somehow interacts with some, I guess, V8 in the background to parse everything and then just throws out a static website. I have to try this. I really like the idea.
It sounds really complicated, to be honest. So why is it generating a Svelte website if it is meant to be a static website?
No. It is generating your static website out of your Svelte components so that you can
I see.
something interactive, that is then
so it's
hydrated.
So it's like a server renderer for Svelte.
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
But the cool thing is that it's written in Go and it's super fast. Like no waiting for ages to compile everything. It's like really, really fast. At least that's what they advertise, right? I never used it. But I have a nice website and that's it. That's all I actually know. Can also share that link, of course. Is that your child, Jiří?
Yes.
Sounds like it has a good time.
Yeah. It's funny out there. So what are you doing in your free time when you are not coding and playing Go?
Actually, some of that time is coding, but when I'm not coding, But otherwise, I'll keep that private.
At least, do you watching some movies, or like do you have like any favorite?
Oh yes, I watch movies.
Did you saw something? Did you see something interesting lately?
Yeah, I think so.
Or
Let me
read?
think.
You also you can if
I
you
I saw the Oceans movies, Oceans 11, Oceans 12, Ocean 13, and then Oceans 8. They're all great, I think.
I think I only saw the first two. Not even sure. The first one definitely, the second one maybe. Yeah, quite a while ago though.
yeah, it's kind of oldies already.
But the Ocean's 8 is pretty new, right?
Yeah, that one is pretty new.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And definitely worth seeing.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw a documentary by David Attenborough, Our Planet.
Yeah, yeah. This
Mm.
the depressive one. Yeah,
It's a bit depressing, yeah, but also quite beautiful.
yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
There's something similar. Alien Worlds. No, I don't know. The German title is also Irdische Welten, so Alien Worlds. So it's like a documentary, but of some made up alien world. So they have this planet that is Earth-like, but there are some things are different, and they just think about how the life could have evolved there, and then just bring it. Yeah, that's really like a documentary where they say, "Oh yeah, and this is and now he's going there and has this special ability to do this and that." It's really nice, really really well made also.
It's like a documentary on planetology.
Mm-hmm. It's
yeah,
called biology, but yeah.
yeah. It sounds like the what was the game from the Sims creator or the Sims? There was also one game from Will Wright, which was the
A game.
yeah. You were on the like different planet, and you can create like completely the whole species like from the beginning and evolve them and evolve. Yeah, that's the name, evolve.
Huh. Okay. So it's a bit like Spore then?
Or spore? Maybe it's a spore. Yeah, yeah. That would be one
Yeah,
one.
okay. It's rather old then, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's like maybe 10 years old. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's probably Spore.
yeah. Yeah.
I haven't played it though. I don't have time for this. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. But tomorrow there will be Cyberpunk 2077 release.
Like a year ago, I was like so hyped. I thought, shit, you will totally get a new computer and then just set everything up and things, and then you will just finally use some time to play a computer game again after half a decade or something. And it didn't happen. And I'm not hyped anymore at all. But let's see. As soon as the first play videos will come out, I will probably get hyped
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I have it pre-ordered, but so also just to support the developers, because I mean
Yeah.
I really like their work, and like they are working like really good for the community, and like everything is like without DRM and everything, so you can it's like really really good approach. And so
Nice.
so yeah, so hopefully it, I mean the Witcher was really good from them, and at
Yeah.
least especially the Witcher 3, and I think that if it will be at least like Witcher 3, so I'm satisfied. So
Yeah.
I played lots of like the Deus Ex games.
Yeah.
Still like the first one, the original one. That was like pretty amazing. It's from like 2000 something, early.
Must be old, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I bought some like special 3D card. I think it was like the first Nvidia or something like that to work to have like the shiny floors and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, good old times.
are you also into playing games, or it's
Not really. I sometimes play games, but not regularly.
yeah. I yeah.
Computer games or other things?
Sorry.
Is it computer games, or do you prefer whatever card games or Dungeons Dragons? I don't know things.
Mostly computer games like these. I like these point and click adventures in Flash
Oh, yeah.
games
Nice.
where you
Mm.
have to escape the room or find clues or
Yeah.
and Go, of course, which I now also play mostly on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And little puzzle games. I can appreciate the video games where you walk around and do things, but I don't play them often.
Yeah, if you would ask me, it would be the same. I appreciate them a lot. I really like computer games. There are so many in my life that really, I think really influenced also my life over the time. But I don't know when the last time was that I actually played a game longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I played lots of like it was like during the high school when I mean, it was like in the I don't want to say like in the beginning of computer games because it sounds silly, but it was like in early 2000. So when the like the real 3D graphics like appears like 3D games and like so it was pretty like I played a lot, and then like go like through the high school and university played also. I mean on the dormitories and everything like so. Everyone has a part like oh everyone have a party and yeah and we played games so we were like introverts in our rooms and played games. But yeah, that was. But then obviously when my number of kids grows, like the games, the time for games like really like it's less and less time. So yeah, but definitely I know kind of lots of people from game industry like from like around like in Germany and mostly in Prague and it's pretty amazing industry, and I think like maybe in the there is like also kind of good chance that this game industry will grow even more than movies and everything. So it might be also like good way to move to like this kind of the what's the to move to this industry like from others like traveling right now.
Huh.
It's more safe because I mean people will game like basically more and more and with more functional VR kits and it will be more and more.
Yeah. It will be also more and more crazy to create a game at some point.
Yes.
I mean, okay, you don't have to do the engines, right? You can use a ready-made, like the Unreal Engine probably does the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that if you count in all the new technology, all the fancy new stuff that you can do in gaming nowadays, that means that this is a good or an easy working place. It makes it much harder, first of all, to create something that anyone wants to buy.
Yeah.
On one side, there are companies that just disappeared like from one day to another, but they were super successful right before that.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately the gaming industry. Let's just speak Crytek, right? With the Crysis engine or Cry engine, that was super successful. Is anyone talking about Crytek nowadays? I'm not. Right, but I know what you mean. I think it's so interesting all the, not only from creating games and having fancy graphics, but also the technology behind it, the
Yeah.
possibilities, or the things that are behind graphics engines are super interesting for me, as long as it's not too much math. I guess my brain is at some point turning off itself if it's too much math.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I find it super interesting as well.
Yeah, and this industry will it join the whole other industries, like it's using like the artificial intelligence, like AI a lot, because for example, when I did the website for the Kingdom Come Deliverance, they using a lot the artificial intelligence and machine learning for their NPCs, so they are basically kind of living thing in this game. So they are like kind of like single units. They are doing they are doing what like kind of they try to think what they are doing. So it's not like in these old games when the NPC will wait for you like in the like midnight and chopping in the woods, chopping the trees, right?
Yeah.
In the Kingdom Come, when you come to in the midnight to home to some, I don't know, some a shopper or like shopkeeper or whatever, he's sleeping, right? And if you go inside and he wakes up, he will call the police or whatever, like so guards. So it's not like that's it's more complicated. And I think you can there are some talks about this, how when I saw how like complicated is this like AI meshed like together in this game. So it's sometimes surprising how it's like that even this is working, you know, like because there are like so many kind of things that can mess up, like messed up. So yeah, but yeah, I mean totally like you can see in here right now, right, that it's merging with lots of industries. The gaming is like kind of it's like a magnet for even like the famous actors are try to do more game stuff. For example, like in the Cyberpunk, like Keanu Reeves and more people like you can have like more stars. So maybe this seems that in the future it will kind of maybe join with the movie industry. It will be like a big, I don't know, entertainment blob.
Immersive, interactive movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we are going anyways at some point. As soon as the technology can handle it, then we will have probably movies that are actually like half games, or these games that are half of a book.
Yeah.
How do you call them? Interactive books or interactive stories?
Yeah.
Things like this, just with an actual interactive world around you and so on.
Yes. So I think everyone is waiting for the what was in Ready Player One or something like that. I think probably not Matrix, but
Totally. I would put a needle in my neck to do this. I would not be the first one. I'm not that stupid, but I would do it at some point.
I mean that's. I mean, if you see what Elon Musk is doing with his what's the name of the Neuralink thing?
Neuralink, yeah.
So it's kind of close to what Matrix is, because I mean for now it's just like stupid Fitbit in your brain, but still
Something, yeah.
in the
And you don't need a cable in you, right? You just have that chip that is communicating wirelessly. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still need a needle to place it, of course. But
yeah, there will probably be some operation, I guess. I don't know how it's working, but anyways.
Yeah, they will like replace like some like square centimeters or something like that of your skull with the chip.
I see.
Sounds nice.
sounds nice. But it should be completely like reversible. So
Sure, then you have a nice square hole in your skull. Oh, but you can, of course, keep the piece, right?
A dead pixel.
That's a nice name for it, I think. That
Yeah.
pixel, that's awesome. And you're playing Go, like the actual board game.
Yes, I am.
Like,
Yes, I like it because it has these really simple rules that you can explain in 5 minutes, and then it's extremely hard to play. And that's the best of both worlds, I think.
it's
Easy
just
rules
good.
and very challenging.
Nice. Yeah, I heard of Go like so many years ago, but I never really tried it. So I had some friends that were so into Go that really played it regularly and had their own sessions and so on in our hackerspace. But I never really joined them. So I found it interesting. But I also don't like chess or anything. That's just not my kind of thing. It's like once I would like it, and then I would find it too straining. I would have so many other ideas that I could just do. Staring at the wall, reading, running around, stuff like this.
I also like in Go, there's a really huge range between beginners and pros. It's like orders of magnitudes of skill. But for most smaller differences, you can easily bridge them by placing these handicap stones on the board. So if I play against you and I'm a bit stronger than you, then I might place, or we might place like 3 stones on the board that you get for free. So you have a little advantage, and then you start from there.
And it makes such a big difference that you can balance the game there. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and would you now? I mean, of course, now the question: would you consider yourself a pro already? Or
No, not at all. Actually, I'm in the scale of things. I'm much better than a beginner, but I'm a very weak player. So you have these grades. This is such a Japanese system with Qs and duns, and the weak players, they count down from somewhere about 20Q to 1Q. So 1Q is strongest and 20Q is beginner level. And on that scale, I'm somewhere close to 10Q.
That's nice.
Yeah, so well, it's for me, it's nice to play, but I'm still a very weak player. And then from there, it goes the other way around. So the duns count up from 1 to 7. Those are the amateur duns. So those are strong amateur players. And then the pros start after that. And every grade is 1 stone. So if I play against somebody with 7th Q, then I'll get 3 stones in my advantage. Which means I'm like 26 stones weaker than the strongest pro, at least.
How many stones are there on the board? Or fit?
Usually you don't get more than 9 stains as a handicap.
Okay.
So 9 is a big difference, and 26 is a ginormous difference.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Are you into board games, Jiří? Anything like this?
No, not so many. I used to play chess like when I was younger, but it was like nothing special.
Yeah, I played chess against my grandfather a couple of times. I think once or twice he let me win, but otherwise, I don't think that I was ever good, let's say.
I mean, there are like lots of great board games, but I'm waiting to my kids to a little bit to grow up. Because
your chance to get back to
not to eating the figures and everything like that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so we have some
and not being bored, of course.
We have some basics like kids board games, but nothing special.
Yeah, they're not old enough unless you can play Munchkin with them. I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't have much to talk today. That's a bit. Is it the same thing as with the visitors today? People are just they want their holidays, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess we can wrap it up slowly and
Sure. Unless you have some topic suggestions
or message.
Message to the world, to the Go players, to that guy with 7 dan.
I'm coming.
I would say use underscore because you can really use it in nearly every application, and it saves so much. You can save so much code by using a library. That's the point of code reuse. There is this library which already has the code that you need. Please use it. It saves time for everyone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
you're
all I want to say.
right. Yes, it's a great message, I guess. Also for me. Maybe I will wait for underscore 2 just as another excuse.
Underscore 1 is great too.
I'm sure it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you, Julian, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your talk, and I think have a nice holidays, and hopefully for us, happy New Year 2021.
Pandemic-free year 2021. Let's call it like this.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank
the
you.
year of the cure.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good evening.